Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show with SmartRobie. And I do hope that you had a great weekend, especially for all our Christian friends. Happy pre or post Easter holiday. And for those of you who had a chance to travel out of your place, went for a short holiday, I do hope that you find you well. And for our Muslim friend, I think this morning you would have probably already started to fast. So I also wish you happy fasting for today. Now let's get our attention to the stock market. Now we all know that the US market last Friday did close. So the market remained a bit muted. Even this morning, as well as last Friday, we have a bit of foreign funds selling off. But let's turn our attention to what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show in here. So let's get on to our agenda, and don't forget you can follow us on TikTok right now. So we are doing a really interesting sort of post, a bit of my lifestyle too. You can also check it out on my TikTok on my handler trade_VSA in here, and I do post things that is with food that I like and places that I go on top of the stock market, things that you also watch into. So that's just to keep things interesting, especially for those of you, your children who want to learn, or the younger generation want to learn about the stock market. So this is definitely a TikTok to be followed. And of course, our VSA 360 continue. Again, many of you who have joined us for the Raya promotion to become our Trade VSA Premium membership. I welcome you and I thank you for your support, and I do believe one of the best features you'll like will be our insider buying and selling, which I usually talk on Friday breakfast show in here. Now let's take a look at this morning. What is our agenda? More of the sharing of the KLCI update, and definitely the KLCI VSA has pulled back, as you can see from our top here. Let me just switch to a wider chart. You can see from here, switching to a 1 month chart. This is an interactive chart which you are also getting on the VSA 360 and also on the SmartRobie in here. So for our VSA pullback, you can see it is testing the 1430 very soon, and more importantly, if you look on the left hand side of the screen, you got a lot of small SOS. You have SP, stand for spring. You got test, and two tests with a spring that's proved to be very strong. The kind of background that we have, and likelihood we will see this market moving upwards very soon. But of course, that all is going to depend on what's happening on US tonight in here. And of course, for our beginners, you can use the FA list and some of the stocks we did pick up last week. You can also watch them too and see how well they fare. And for our more advanced members who's using SmartRobie, you can use the ST2 stage 2 intraday shares, and also reviewing some of the new Pentagon idea. And all this are powered SmartRobie powered by Pentagon Guider system, a patent that is still pending in here and in here. And of course, some of our KLSE Pentagon champion PLC, we did talk about CAP, AHOX in here, and we renew this every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we will see some of this in here. So as I said before, switching to a wider chart here, the KLCI market right now is facing resistance. On top of me here, you could see, and may reverse, usually when it hit that 40-day moving average, depending whether we get SOW like uptrust, then the market is. That's why Pentagon Guider with VSA volume spread analysis, it is a leading indicator. And those of you who have been following me a fair bit may have known that we always look at the bars that is appearing, and then we will take it from there. Last Friday also we have the foreign fund net selling or two last Friday in here, and we also see a likelihood the railway track may cross up. Let's keep our finger crossed on that one. And if we do have in here, another very good indicator that we use is the on our breakfast show in here using the VSA plugin is the number of bars, right? Remember the 1430 40 MA is at 1430, which is this level we already hit here, right? And so far it's been moving up higher high and higher low, so that's indicating the market has actually turned. But more importantly is to turn your attention to the green pentagon or the blue trend zone, which is just above me. Now the last time that we had was turning green pentagon was 29 of March. 29 of March, and if you take back just a good estimation or a guide, we are looking at the last green pentagon, which is the 29th of December, and it actually had 18 bars, okay, 18 bars. So right now the market has moved already 8 bars, so we got 10 more bars with another 2 weeks, which will take us to the end of the month, which means if I believe the US market continue to be bullish, then the KLCI market will stay bullish at least until the end of the month. Then we have this nice bull in here, definitely the 1460, which is the 200-day moving average. This is this so-called resistance in here. It needs to break up, and when it does that, you hear it first from our Trade VSA breakfast show with SmartRobie. And not to forget, something that just popped up in the media today on the Age magazine in here, talking about staying away or avoiding healthcare. I suppose for the longer term it is, but if you look at the green pentagon, we have the triple or even quadruple breakout in here. Very nice one. And notice we have a lot of strength coming in. Confirm no supply, test. We have one line change, another line change last Friday in here. But take note, if you have 3 or 4 more line change, and usually that is where we see the climatic volume coming in, and usually the market will turn. So just keep in mind, we have 2 line change, probably 1 or 2 more, the market usually turn that way. Then probably they are right, because right now we can see from the last Age today, this is Age today, saying that Kenangan avoid investor to avoid glove stocks for now, right? And usually this tends to be a bit lagging, all right? Of course, if you have followed the green pentagon, some of those earlier on, I think you have been benefited. But right now, do be careful. This kind of news usually will break the momentum. But if the market were to continue from here, which means bad news, market goes up. This does tell you something too, right? Because analysts always get it late, right? Because the stock market is a leading indicator. It tends to move ahead of on top of all the fundamental report in here, and usually that's the case, right? We all know even quarterly analyst report comes out about 3 months, stocks usually move ahead, and we all seen it before many times. I've demonstrated to you that before the announcement of the earnings, right, you'll see stocks move ahead even 2 weeks before any of this price started to move up, and that's where we want to catch into this kind of thing. So on the hot sectors in here, let's take a look at what is trending right now, and you just switch over to our let me switch to a wider chart here, and you can go right at the bottom, hot sectors. You definitely see one more time in here, right? Energy, utilities, and energy is caused by the OPEC cut that we have seen in here. Utilities, property, industrial, and healthcare. Healthcare was number 1 about 1 or 2 weeks ago. I think that's where we see it first pops up in here, and you have the chance to go in. I think that's good. Usually when it first pops up, it's a good trade, but we won't know. Rubber glove may continue to run higher and higher. I think this is also partly due to I believe the quarterly of many of these rubber glove sectors or companies are turning into black, which means they are making money, and last quarter we have seen few of those are actually making loss, and that's one of the reasons why I do see why this market is moving higher in here. So you can look from here. We will take a look at some of these sectors on the following slide, so make sure you stay on to it. Now the idea behind it is that usually we have 5 sectors in here, and all the sectors, if you can look at energy, they are sorted out by Pentagon Guider on the top, which means it could be red or green in here. You can see 7th of April, then we have 5th of April, 4th of April. These are just the one that just turned green pentagon. Even though they turned green pentagon, the market hasn't picked up in here. Most of them are still in negative territory in here. So we can always look at the chart in here. So 5210, like Amanda, we can take a look at it. Boom, Amanda, take a look at the stock price. Right, you can see we did have the sell-off, nice one line breakoff, I think reacting to OPEC pullback, but right now this morning the market is up, all right, on 2.3% in here, building a nice support in here. So the question is, can this thing continue to move up in here? From the interactive chart you can see. So let's review the sectors which we were talking about, right, which is the 3rd of April, last Monday here, was technology stocks. Okay, technology stocks in front of me. Let me switch to a wider chart here. So you could definitely see Franken. This was last week, all right, 325 in here. at the time in here, and then this is Penta, okay, Penta. All right, and this is today on the 9th. So you can see from here, market did pull back down a bit. Penta did actually move higher. Okay, that was from last week, 3rd of April, and then only with the exception of Inari had a red pentagon. So you should get red pentagon. This is time. I don't think the market's going to move up in here. So likelihood the market is going to be moving sideways. Okay, so that's on last week on the technology stocks. So we got a couple of good hit and we have 1 or 2 misses in here. Now on the 3rd of April was the talk about the FA collection stock. Now FA collection stock is something that we pitch to new beginners because it does has at least 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8 ratings, which does pay good dividend, lower PE. That means it's likely to be undervalued compared to the sector in here. So that's good to be something good. So we have Cycom and KM Long last week. And of course, let's take a look at Cycom. What is the fundamentals in here? So hit that one. And you can go on to stock fundamentals. Switching to a wider chart here. And you can definitely see this is rated 6 out of 8 with a PE of 11 times, ROE of 28 and pay 6% dividend. Now this was last week, definitely you can see 3rd of April here. And then this week, it didn't go anywhere, just still start moving sideways. But at least, you know, you wouldn't lose that much of the money in here on top of good dividend. Next stock is KM Long, which is a plantation player in here. So we can take a look at KM Long. Looking at the fundamentals, stock fundamentals here, right? You can see 6 out of 8 with a PE of 10, ROE of 19%. That's pretty good too, 19% with a dividend yield of 8.20. So that's going to be a good one here. And you can see from here, market goes up and then, you know, sort of pops back down in here. So far, I don't think this morning. Let's look at KM Long on the chart wise. So you can see, it's holding up and it's up 1.1%. Okay, 1.1% here. So that's be good to look at. Okay. All right. Now let's turn our attention next to the next segment, which is you can subscribe to our daily newsletter and get some of our stock trade idea on the SmartRobie stocks. If you're interested, you can subscribe from here. That's a QR code. And let's take a look this week for our 10th of April. We have IOI Property. Okay, IOI Property and Henneken. So IO Property in here since then green pentagon, but has an uptrust, has pulled back again. There has been a long, sideways moving in here. Let's take a look at the IOI PG and the FA first. So pretty straightforward in here, 5 out of 8 with a PE of 4.6 with the sector of 18 times, ROE of 6 with the sector only 5%. Now you can see, right, properties are, the ROE are really not in the double digit in here. Pay a 3.3% dividend, so that's why it's rated slightly higher. And next we have is Henneken. All right, we all know Henneken, which is the non-halal or non-Sharia stock, because this one is making beer and alcoholic drinks. So you can look at the stock chart, you can see in here. But we want to see is the stock fundamentals. Okay, stock fundamentals, you can see from here. Definitely FA rating giving out of 5, PE of 19 times, slightly more pricey. Okay, but the ROE of 84 times with a dividend of 3%. This is definitely one of those good dividend stocks to have. And the market tends to be well supported in here for this one, right? So for this week, we'll be reviewing the healthcare, because the healthcare is something that I like. So you can see from here, Nova. Try to avoid the small cap stocks and stay within the large cap stocks. Many of them already run, so you might want to look for a pullback in here and go from them. But definitely some of these stocks we will look at next week, whether the continuation of the healthcare, what I've just said, will we see a sell-off, like what the Kenangan analyst is telling all the investor on the Edge newspaper, avoid, or it continue to go up. So next week we'll come back and look into this and see whether what they say. So as a summary, I do think that the KLCI is rebounding to a stage 2, really for a markup continuation. And of course, if you look back on the last green pentagon or blue trend zone, which was up 18 bars, and right now it is above about 8 bars midway through in here. But when you get to 16 or 17, that's where you're going to start thinking of taking profit. So that's one way of really counting your bars to when the market likely to reverse, and all you have to do is just follow this channel here, our live Facebook in here, and also check me out on TikTok and be aware of it. Of course, for our beginners friends, stick to the Robie FA stock, will put you in the right manner. All right, and for those of you who just joined us for our Trade VSA premium membership in here, take note of the tomorrow is our orientation Zoom meeting in here, and if you check through our Telegram Zoom, once you join in, you'll be receiving Zoom link and able to participate in here. And definitely we'll be talking some of the activities. This is just one of the online activities that we have, where you want to be familiar with the tools, familiar with the market, a lot of the terminology, so you will be having the skill, right, to really conquer should the market break higher in here, right? And of course, we're not just looking at the Malaysian market, also the US market, but on the Malaysian market side, we have the insider buying that will give you the kind of edge. Check me out on Friday breakfast show in here, where I talk more about the insider report, and also you can check out some of our past video on our YouTube in here. And not to forget, subscribe to our TikTok, follow me on TikTok, and then you're able to pick up some of the things are coming. Thank you for coming this morning in here. All right, as usual, we will be reviewing some of the stocks that you have, and if you do have any stocks, let me know. But most of the time, the Pentagon Guider, it's already a good guide, easy to see, easy to use, and that's what one of the things where we continue to promote. That's very user friendly, that you don't really need much of it. All you got to do is follow this in here. So that's all I have. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you on Tuesday for our Zoom orientation for our Trade VSA member, and on Wednesday we will be talking about the development of the current theme of the stock market in here on Wednesday night on our live FB. That's all. Thank you for your support.